think it was always our intention to make a record that sounded like this. And because of the music that we all grew up listening to and the kind of music that we wanted to make, and we never really knew how exactly. You know, I mean, I've always gone into the studio wanting to sound like this and coming out sounding completely different. And that's the thing that I feel like takes a really long time, is to figure out how to make music that sounds like what you think it does. And I think this is what we've always wanted to do, and we just didn't really know how until now.
Yeah. And we always knew in our gut like what we wanted it to sound like, and I think we'd tried really hard to make the previous experience work out like as we wanted it to. Like we couldn't have specified more that we wanted to like use 60s gear, and everyone was like, oh, that doesn't matter, you don't need that. But we, you know, eventually ended up working with people that felt the same way as us and really made it sound exactly how we wanted it to sound.
I think there really definitely was a point right before we went in to make the record where it just seemed like, if this doesn't happen, then, I mean, but it was also, not only will the band just totally break up, but like I might just go die. I don't know, like what are we doing here? But I think, you know, I think that kind of has to happen though, like with anything that you're really proud of. Like if you don't think that you're gonna die at any point of like making it or right before it actually happens, then I don't know, like I feel like that really has to happen to have something that you are as grateful for as this. You know, when we made this record, I think we figured out our sound, and I think we created the concept of what this band is. And now we actually have that band. Yeah. And we have, I mean, literally, sometimes I just think that I imagined both of you, because you are like, if I could imagine what band members I would want for this record and this band, you would be them. It's like I made you up. We have a band who, you know, are all real players, and who I think we will all write, and we have a clear vision of what we want to do and where we want to go. And also, when we start playing and get into the studio and writing and stuff, I think we'll naturally, you know, figure out how the band will progress, because we actually have a band now, which is awesome.
I went to school with Z, but we never sort of connected at school somehow, even though we crossed over worlds. And I was in town visiting my parents, and I decided to audition. And I was just finishing school at NYU in New York, and sort of like feeling my way around the world.
It's nice to have an educated person in the band.
It was amazing though, because I mean, we spent a couple hours together, and she moved across the country to come be in our band. But it's one of those things, you kind of just know.
Yeah, and I was also sort of like expecting something like this.
Yeah, you were.
I was actually like, I didn't really have a home. I was sort of subletting every couple of weeks, just sort of like waiting for something to draw me in a different direction. I'd been there for 5 years, and I was like acting and doing all sorts of things, music and all, and so this was just, it was just great. I walked in, and then it was amazing. It was 2 weeks after I got the phone call, just flew across the country, packed up 5 years.
I actually didn't really audition, and I also didn't know anything about the Like at all before I met them.
Basically, we stalked Laena for a year, and we went on, we took her out. We took her to dinner, went on a sort of a blind date.
Yeah, we were like, do you want to jam? Do you want to play? She's like, no, let's just have a drink.
I was like, okay, well, there's no way that this can actually be cool, because it would be like too good to be true, kind of. So they've got to be like either really annoying or like stupid or can't actually play or something.
And it turns out all of the above. It was amazing that when we met and went out to dinner, and 4 hours later realized that we had been talking for 4 hours. Yeah. And then we went in to play. And, I mean, she just played it, and you know, your parts are hard.
That's why it's fun. Well, I'm a violinist, so like playing really boring bass parts is not fun for me at all. So it's really great, because the bass lines in this band are so like melodic and all over the place that it's just fun.
We just needed Laena, and then we needed
Annie. And now we need something. No.
We don't need anything. We're great. We're fine. If you need us, then you can have us.
Please need us. You can have me.